Thank you for taking the time. Obviously, you've had a Hall of Fame career. What is still left to accomplish in your career at this point?
Well, going into Hard to Kill, obviously, I think this last rodeo is about proving that I still belong, proving that I can still go with the best of them, and that I deserve a championship opportunity. And, it's been quite a test on this in the sense that every woman has pushed me a bit harder and a bit harder. And going into Hard to Kill is going to be no different because Jordynn is going to be my toughest opponent yet on
Mhm.
this journey. And the stakes are high. I mean, it's title versus career. Um, and I guess, I need to prove both to myself and to the fans and to the company that I'm worthy of being a knockouts champion and that I can still win it. And if I can't, then I don't know what to do, and if I win, I promise that I will be the greatest knockouts world champion that's ever been. And if I don't win it, then hopefully I will be regarded as one of the greatest knockouts champions that's ever been.
It's a win-win scenario for you.
Hopefully.
When you
Yeah.
came back to Impact, everyone was very psyched. We didn't know the last rodeo was happening when you first came back. How long
Right.
was it into your Impact run that you came up with the idea for the last rodeo?
Um, I think after I lost the championship to Tasha, and, at that point, I did everything that I thought I had come back to Impact to do. My original intention wasn't even to wrestle. It was for Empower. My original intention was to
Mhm.
help, put Empower together and um make that a magical night of all these companies coexisting and coming together to celebrate the women on their roster. Um, and I was blessed and able to do that. And thank God for Impact, because Impact took a lot of time to help me, and it gave Empower a lot of time, a lot of their television time in order to lift up this pay-per-view. Because, there's one thing about Impact, they've always celebrated their women.
Mhm.
They've always given their women opportunities that, other companies just didn't see, and so it was really special to me. And I've said it before, Impact's always been a home for me because they were one of the first to give me a television opportunity. And this is round 3 with Impact. And, so coming back to do Empower and having that be so successful, and you know, then winning the Knockouts championship, it was really special. It was special, and I felt like my title run was special, and it was unfortunate I had to lose it, but at the same time, I go, "Well, what else do I have to prove? What else is there?" Like, I aside I just don't know why, why else what else I need to prove.
Mhm.
And this was like a conversation with Tommy Dreamer when I go like, unless I said there's always these comments of like, it's time to pass the torch, Mickie, and how much better this new generation is. And I go, well, I've worked with women in every single generation, and every single woman I've stepped in that ring with have been fighters, and they've fought for these opportunities and these moments. And, you know, it's a bit like bittersweet, the fact that, they planted these trees, these beautiful apple and pear trees, but they never got to eat the fruit. And now, they had to pay all these dues and really do it like a real difficult way, a lot different than it is now, the business and the way, the business is now. And now, you know, the ladies now, yes, they work hard, but it's not the same. And it's not the same kind of adversities and struggles, and they have their own. So I'd never want to take away from that. But the fruit that they're eating is so freaking sweet and delicious and ripe and huge. And a lot of us kind of sit back and go like, oh man, I wish I could taste that apple. That was awesome. And the fact that I can still sit here and do that, but I wanted to prove that I still belong and I'm worthy of filling my basket, like that I'm worthy of, you know, being a champion, and like the words and the things that these fans say about me, that it's true. And
Mhm.
I said to Tom, it's like, if I can't prove that I still belong, because I certainly never want to go out as a former shell of myself, because I do recognize that I've 2 decades worth of beating myself up have taken their toll, and it takes me a little longer in the morning, or it takes me, especially the morning after, it takes the recovery time is a little bit longer.
Right.
And those are things that you hear as a rookie, or even hear 5-10 years in your career, like, oh, that's going to catch up to you one day. And you're like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. It catches up. They did not lie. It's not a lie. It does catch up to you. And so when I think about those things, I was like, I really want to be more present for my son and stuff, and want to be able to walk really well 10 years from now when I'm not wrestling anymore. I said, so honestly, if I can't prove that I still belong here, and maybe I'll earn it the same way that any other woman on the roster would, and not walk in and with this entitlement of like, hey, I just want a title shot, but like earn
Right.
it. Then maybe it'll be special and it can go out. And I've always wanted that, like to put a beautiful bow on my career one way or another, before I stepped out of the ring forever. And I think that this last rodeo has been an awesome journey and a way to do that. And then going into Hard to Kill, Jordynn has been an awesome champion, and she's been a dominant champion. She's defended that championship this whole time alongside me as I've been on this rodeo, and I've watched her in all, and I know that we're two different types of people. We're two different types of generations. We are two different types of athletes. We're very, very different. But I think that the common goal is that we want to be the best, and we want to be the win, and we want to win, and we want to be the champion, because we both look at ourselves like champions. And so if I can't win the championship and prove that I belong, and prove that I belong on top, then I don't need it. And I don't want it unless it's right. And so that's kind of what this is all about. And so,
Well,
yeah.
before I let you go, that was a wonderful answer. Will we get new music from Mickie James in 2023?
Yes. I mean, I just went to the studio a couple weeks ago, and but do you mean like entrance music other than hardcore country?
No, we've been following your career. New
Oh,
music.
thank you. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. I've been working on, through the whole pandemic, of putting together and pulling all, because obviously I was really blessed to get signed with E1 Music Nashville with the release of my second album, which is the one that Hardcore Country lived on. And I put the first album out by myself, Strangers and Angels, and I was working on that while I was at WWE my last run, and ironically got let go right before I put the album out. And then really the last time I was signed with SMG Music and Media, which is a affiliate of Sony, it was out of Sony. And that's how I was able to do the single with the Yin Yang Twins and like different types of music. But what I've realized is, like, a lot of times as an artist, and one thing about music is one of the reasons that I really went down that path is because it gave me a creative outlet, not really for the singing, but for the writing, to put these stories to lyrical form that tell my story, or people that I care about story, and to be able to perform those because they were special to me. So
Right.
I wanted to be able to do an album and songs that I wrote, because sometimes, those singles, they weren't ones they were ones that I loved, but I didn't necessarily write them. And
Right.
so that's what I've been working on. And I know I've been saying this, but it's hard to pick your favorites of your favorites and I'm such a perfectionist and a nitpicker. Like, then I write a new one and I'm like, oh, this one's so good though. And I want to make sure but I want to put out a vinyl record this year because nobody's really buying CDs anymore. Nobody buys CDs anymore, but a lot of vinyls back in. And also I think that most people who buy the physical copy of my album want it signed. And what better than like this vinyl record frame that I can get signed. And people still download, obviously, on the internet, singles and stuff. And so most of my music has been singles, but I've written this Veterans song, which is really amazing, which I'm thinking about putting out on Veterans Day, but it's kind of coming together. And then Sean and I, which is my producer, and we write a lot together. We wrote with Jake Hill, who's like this wakeboarder. We wrote this beach song called Sandbar Sunsets, which might be the first single of the year. Which is a great summer song. It's but I think maybe springtime, because it's like getting everybody ready for the summer season. And so, but yeah, more music as always. I'm always working on it and always praying about it. Like, just one song. Somebody just loved one song. I mean, I did the Grown Ass Woman song with Chapel Hart, my girls Chapel Hart, who went on to
Right.
America's Got Talent and showed the world, because I was screaming their praises, going like, oh my God, these girls are going to take over the whole world. And they did.
And they
And
did.
so grateful. So I've had a lot of really great opportunities with music, which is fun. And so I was grateful to write that with them too.
Looking forward to the music, looking forward to the next match, and
Thank you.
continued success at you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Paltrocast.